do it. Happy Monday. Welcome back to the All-Purpose Pod for an All-Purpose Life, wherever you are and however you're hearing. They call me Mr. You, the podcast. Thanks again for making us a part of your morning. Happy Monday, guys. How are you? How is it going? Everybody up and awake? We got the Joe inside of us. Are we good? We ready to rock and roll? We got so much to talk about today. How you guys doing where you are?
So far, so good. Hard to mess up a day when it's still only 6 a.m. on the West Coast.
hard, but not impossible, right? So you're saying there's a chance.
It's not impossible. I got up about 3:15 this morning. So, I mean, there was still some hours to get some stuff done, but it's hard to mess up a day that early.
Can you screw up that early? I mean, is it possible? I mean,
he said just wait. Give him a couple hours. So.
Whole rest of the world is asleep. You really can't screw anything up.
or if you do, most of us won't notice. That's really what it is.
I think if you do before that time, you just go back to bed. You'd be like, you know what? I'll try it again on Tuesday.
Yeah, we call it.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Tapping out.
Yep.
Let's hear how things going where you are, man.
I'm good, man. Twins' first birthday this weekend, so got to see all that. Birthday was on Saturday, party was on Sunday, so we've been posting plenty of pics and stuff from it. So it's fun. It's been a good weekend, roller coaster week, and I fly back today and got to get right back to work. So,
all right. Now, the time you spend, most folks who don't watch show don't know this, but your brother and you live in different places in the United States. You guys, when you got to get together, do you guys do any work when you're together? Or
so every single time we get together, we have a list of stuff. We're like, hey, we want to record this, or there's something we want to put together.
None of that happens.
We're batting 1,000 the wrong way.
1,000.
Yes. I mean, the time that you think you're gonna have. Like let's say after the party yesterday and after people had left was spent like this. Time.
Oh, boy. No work is getting accomplished with that.
I mean, we could have cut a couple promos we've been thinking about or some fun little stuff, but they would have been the worst things like ever. It just, you just
what a golden opportunity that was missed right there. You guys will be in the same room. You guys can.
Sometimes it's worth doing. Like I have a ton of blooper reels that I regularly put out there where I'm just like,
I'm not ready for that. I'm not that confident in myself.
It just makes me laugh. Like honestly, like the game that I did a couple weeks ago, it was just the 30-second promo. Like, hey, get to the stadium. That took me 10 minutes because I just could not talk. Yeah. And the players that were around were just laughing at me. I was like, man, I don't even know what I'm doing out here today.
People think this is easy.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw. Yeah. I mean, you're right. You're right. We did. I ran into an SEC shorts guy one time, when I was at a previous job selling TVs or whatever. And I was like, oh, hey, man, what's up? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, man, I told him which video is my favorite. He goes, that one, really? He goes, that one, it was the end of a day. We were really tired. We just ran through it. I said, yep. It turned out great. But the way he described and the way they shot it just sounded like what Raj and I should have just went ahead and did. Like, hey, man, we got no energy. We're tired. Let's
just power through. Yeah. Absolutely.
It is what it is. We got some shout outs coming in through the comment section already from the Shake Back Media Group. What up, fellas? Yeah. And a question from him. Herb is on vacation. Well, how'd you guess? Was the hotel room with the covers unmade? Is that it?
I don't know. I'm glad my wife isn't watching too. She'd be like, you shot it like that. So I don't know if it counts as a vacation if it's only for the weekend and I got to go right back to work. So, like, I need to miss some work time for it to be a vacation.
Yeah.
You got there on Thursday, though, right?
No, Friday.
On Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, no, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. It's not really a vacation. In fact, it's probably more hectic because you're running the whole time.
Thank you.
So
I drove.
You'll go back to work to get some rest.
Yes. Work would definitely be less hectic. Yeah. So, and I drove 10 hours on Saturday. On Friday too. So, yeah.
But the little ones, they're gonna keep you busy. I knew that was gonna happen for you going in. 1-year-olds, they wide open in that place.
Oh yeah.
And it's the home court too. Forget about it.
What's happening, Chad?
Chad said, "Good morning, brother." The run in.
Oh,
Big Mike in the house.
Big Mike.
You know what, you guys that are listening and watching the show this morning, I know we could be talking about our own stuff, and we'll get to that. But check out this guy's YouTube channel, man. It's called The Run In with Big Mike. It's an outstanding wrestling podcast and YouTube channel. But you know what? He needs to go live. It's a very small request. I think he needs about eight or 9 more subscribers to go live. Help him out, y'all. If you guys are listening, that means you, Chad, Raj, all you guys that may not have subscribed yet, subscribe to this man's YouTube channel. Get this guy live so you can start putting some real work out there because he's excited about that, and we want to help him out, right?
There's a limitation on going live?
Yeah.
You have to have 50 subscribers.
Oh, yeah? I had no idea.
So I've had millions of subscribers forever. So
that is definitely not the case.
No, I'm giving you a hard time with that. Well, yeah, I didn't because he just started his channel, so that was like one of the first things he told me. He's like, "Hey," I was
like that must be a newer thing because I went live on mine with like 14 or.
Yeah,
I honestly, it was actually news to me too, but that's what they're saying, man. Help our guy get there. Good morning, Raj.
Depressing, Mike.
That being said, I wish you were right. Like the million subscribers. So if anybody watching wants to subscribe to everybody's channel, it'd be fantastic.
I'll take whatever I can get. I know it's a work in progress, but you want to build it right, not build it fast per se. So I understand that. Right. I think Chad got the subscribe. I think Chad comment
help you.
I think Chad's comment. I think he's on the wrong show, but Chad. But thanks for being here. Appreciate you.
Oh yeah, that's for the 9 o'clock hour.
Yeah, Bo will pass your Simmons on to the other show. I'm not sure you're actually on right now, but thank you for joining in and supporting us here. We appreciate it, brother. All right. Yeah, I just say good morning, right? Raj, good morning, brother. Hope you're doing good out there. What's the channel name again? I will sub. Absolutely. It's The Run In with Big Mike. Matter of fact, I'll drop it in the comments. And thank you for doing that, sir.
Appreciate it.
Very much. Very much. Yeah. Big Mike will be very happy. Big Mike will probably thank you while he's here this morning. All right. So quite a few things that we had on the docket today. I scrapped some of them because, hey, we got more fun stuff to talk about. But this is a weird topic for me because I was a former in this category. So I don't know what the mindset is in current times. But I saw that cannabis was removed from the banned drug list recently with the NCAA. I think the UFC's already been ahead of that a little bit. They did that last December. They pulled it from their ban list. A former Denver player who was dinged for that, I think almost more than $500,000 in fines, actually is suing the Denver Broncos now. His name, he was not named for some strange reason. I'm not quite sure why, but he wasn't named. But he's suing his former team. Get all that money back and recoup all that money back. You know about Sha'Carri Richardson. We're in the 2024 Olympics trials now. And I think in 2021, she was suspended for a positive THC test. So when that happened, I mean, people even in the government were like, this should not be happening. She should not have been suspended. So now I guess it took him 3 years to get some of the wheels turning here to get that cannabis removed from the banned drugs list.
So how much money does Ricky Williams get back then?
Ricky Williams, I don't think he's open his mouth right now. This is way too many years. Too many years for him. He's like, That'd be a statute of limitations on that one. I mean, 30 years ago, right? Something like that.
He's too high right now to even realize what's going on.
Yeah, there is that.
They did what?
So, I know I'm probably opening a can of worms by even going this route, but I thought it was interesting enough for discussion anyway. Here's what they're saying about THC. It's not considered performance enhancing. Okay. It doesn't provide a competitive advantage. Okay, sure. It's a focus on health and well-being. Sounds great. So I'm trying to understand how this is going to be a good thing outside of the quote-unquote health benefits. Because like I said, this is current. When I was in that realm and I was puffing and passing, I'm just be honest, that was my life back then.
Sure.
So I was a puffing passer. I'm saying I don't feel like my performance was enhanced in any way, but I don't feel like I had an advantage in any way either. So it's like it's just good. I mean,
so yeah, it's good in the way that you aren't getting in trouble for it, right? Because it's not a performance enhancing thing. However, there are some health benefits to it as far as inflammation and stuff. So I mean, those are well documented things, with weed, which is why there is pills that don't have the THC, but they have CBD in it to help with inflammation. So you're not getting high, you're just using the inflammation fighting elements of the drug. So ultimately it's good. Like, you don't have to be smoking. There's plenty of other ways to get the health benefits from it.
Okay. So you want to chime in here before I ask my next question?
No, you can go. I think that pretty much, was where I would go with it.
Because like I said, all I have as a basis is my past. And I didn't feel like I was productive, mentally sharp when I was using that. So it's like, okay, the health benefits, I'm cool with that, especially if it helps. They're even saying that they're doing research right now to determine whether they always say it's good for pain management, but they're also trying to determine if it's a potential alternative for opioids, which is I don't know how big pharma is gonna let that slide. They're making too much money off opioids to have it be minimized by this. So I don't know how that's gonna fly. But in regards to just the impact on you, your mental faculties, what I remember, I wasn't sharp. I wasn't more acute. I wasn't, on point. It's like in athletics, you need to be. So does this impact that at all? Are we overlooking that, or is this something that you kind of can get past now because this is something different about this THC than the one that I was involved with? Can you help me out with that?
I mean, it's not banned because it isn't performance enhancing. That's why it comes off the list, because there are zero people that I've met that went and got high that all of a sudden were faster or stronger or realistically more, apt to even do any of that.
Right.
So, I mean, it's good that it comes off the performance enhancing list. Because again, it just doesn't do that. But if it gets you off some of the synthetic painkillers, that's not a bad thing.
Okay. Perfect.
And I've had some guys, that are consistently can work through it at that level. So I guess it depends on your type of person, especially in the business that we do. You don't want somebody who's high and messed up. So I've seen both, but I feel like it's, he said, if you're doing it, you're getting the medical benefits from it. Like, I guess I'm just not worried about it. And if you're really doing like a Ricky Williams and you're smoking so much that you can't even function maybe at times, and that's kind of on you. Maybe you need to puff pass at times. But
okay,
that's right. Hand
the rest of it,
okay, so that's interesting. So somebody that's in that realm is using it. So you're saying that the amount is a factor, not
and how you manage it. Because I've known people who kind of use it more for anxiety or to kind of mellow them out. Like, we actually, one very particular instance, we were supposed to start a job on a Saturday and the work site was supposed to be empty, and the person basically lied to us to get us to come on back there, and the work site was full and we were having to work around people, and we were out in the parking lot, and my friend has to smoke up to bring himself back down so we can go ahead and and do this job, because otherwise he was about to fly off the head.
Yeah, and
you know, who knows what.
Yeah, it's funny because they'll also sometimes like if somebody is allergic to Adderall or something like that for ADD, they'll smoke also because it helps calm the noise in the head.
So, okay, both of you guys used the word smoke a couple of times. Is that the only way that this is available to be ingested, or are they like capsules now?
So usually when
I'm asking because I have no idea. I'm honestly asking sincerely. I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, I don't do it at all, but but the difference between like smoking and gummies is how fast it affects you, right? So if you're eating a gummy, you have to digest it, and so there's a certain amount of time that is required for you to be able to break that down and it start to feel its effects. Whereas if you're smoking, it's immediate.
Right.
So, you know, it just depends on what it is you're trying to do. Like if you're trying to do like use it to go to sleep or something like that, because there's different strains of it that do different things. So, you know, it really depends on what it is you're trying to do and how fast you need it to affect you. Again, I don't do it, but I mean, Seattle was the first place to legalize the stuff. So we got weed stores all over the place.
Copy that.
Right. Right. And the gummies you have to be careful with because, like he said, they don't hit you that fast. So you know, I've seen first-time users who tend to overdo it at first and then get hit all at once and go, oh. So you got to be careful with it.
Which is hilarious. Let's be honest. That's a funny watch.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just like, I guess, like I said, I'm glad that I'm not in that room. I'm not jealous whatsoever. I'm just wondering how that works in the sport of football. My mind is, it may take some time to kind of watch it, you know, played out throughout the season and kind of just see, maybe we see some signs of it or not. Maybe you don't see anything at all.
You won't see anything.
Okay.
Because a lot of these guys smoked anyway.
Yeah.
They were just banking on the fact they weren't going to get tested.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't running and doing stuff. Maybe I had too much, but I wasn't doing that. I'm like, all I can do is barely play the video game. That's all energy I could muster. I couldn't run down no 100 yards, no punt return after smoking.
Well, I mean, they're not sitting there like blazing a sack or anything like right.
I don't know if I had a sack either, but I mean,
but you also have to keep in mind. You have to keep in mind in the 70s, they were smoking cigarettes on the sideline. So, I mean, like, you know, some athletes can just do whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew guys that played games like drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have, and it's one of my worst basketball stories was when I was younger, these old guys came out to challenge us in the game. You know, you're younger, you think we're going to beat them. They narrowly beat us the first game. They went to their cooler. Everybody had a beer. They beat us by a little bit more. Went back to the cooler, had a couple more beers. It was like the shots started getting further and further out the more they got drunk. I was like, you guys are the most functioning alcoholics. So, like, some guys just handle all of that stuff better than others.
Mm-hmm.
My brother just reminded me, like, I had one of the twins yesterday, and I'm humming a song, and Rod just, like, listened to the beat, and finally he realized I'm humming because I got high.
Oh. I see.
He said, hey, wait a minute.
I see. You're already bliss. I got you. All right, Mike is saying thank you for the shout out and for the support on the YouTube channel. Thank you kindly for that one. All you guys are listening to Run In with Big Mike on YouTube. Please check him out and give him a subscription. Also, because of the YouTube algorithm, also like and share video too, or you would in some time it'll negate your subscription and he'd be like he didn't have one. So please like and share video as well. If you do just one of them, that'd be totally fine. All right. Now, we've been talking to WNBA probably more than I could ever imagine. I got a buddy of mine I do a show with on Tuesday nights, and he wants to do every 3 weeks a WNBA episode. I'm like, I'm talking more WNBA than I've ever had in my entire life. I've been watching them off and on since '96 when they started. I've never talked this much about it. So it's fun, though. It's fun watching them play. The All-Star game versus the USA women's team was phenomenal. They won 117-109 over the U.S. team. Honestly, the 8-point difference, it was way, way bigger than that. Had it not been for Breanna Stewart running and gunning in the last 2-3 minutes of the fourth quarter, it wouldn't even been anywhere near that close. They were getting outgunned, to say the least. Arike Ogunbowale, 34 points in the second half alone. She was fired. Her coach Sherry Miller said they have no answer for you, none at all, zero. Keep doing what you're doing. So,
and she's upset about being left off the team. So went so as far as to say politics were involved. So she was fired up.
Yes, they all seemed to be fired. They were very, very excited about everything that was going on. Okay, looks like Herb said before we get into the WNBA, Herb said, I said that Herb has the worst basketball story. And I asked him about my friend Dana. I just did in front of everybody. So I probably should have read it first. Sorry, Herb. It's something that I'm sorry. If it's just a bad story, I'm sorry.
No, I mean the shorts. Raj and I are about 3.5 years difference. So I don't know when I was where was what 11 or 12, I guess, and Raj was 8, and he was playing basketball with his friends. And Dana's a girl, and so apparently when Dana went up to shoot, I didn't show any mercy, and I swatted the ball out of bounds and downhill while we were playing basketball. So you have to get Raj's version of the story. It's a little more dramatic, but that's basically it. So
okay, you play defense. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. So
look,
if my mom drives the lane, I'm still swatting her shot, even on her birthday. So hey.
Mom was getting her shot blocked too, and she knows that.
Yes.
She doesn't watch the show. She watched. Anyway, going into a tangent a little bit. Big Mike says how weird it is to take a month off after the All-Star break.
They don't do that every year. That's because of the Olympics.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is a special situation. Yeah. Well, I said it was really, really good. It was definitely good. I wanted to get into a little bit. Arike was just the star, and there's no question about that. Are you guys concerned about the USA women's basketball team based on this? I mean, I saw some things that said, "Ooh,
2021 they had this." They lost in 2021 to the All-Star team and won gold. So I mean, I don't know how much you can read into it. But at the same time, you wanted to see the Olympic team show out because now you're like, okay, did that Olympic selection committee make some mistakes? Tough to say.
I definitely feel like the WNBA part of it was way more motivated, I guess. You could just tell the Olympic team was still a little out of sync, I guess, and WNBA kind of capitalized that. But I mean, Arike was also, like I said, she was on a mission. That was a tight game, and then she came alive, and then there was almost nothing, anybody could do. And it's not like it's the Olympics versus a bunch of scrubs. There's still people who are all-stars and still, best at their position. So it's not like they were playing nobody. And I think it just kind of shows you sometimes when you put these teams together, they still need at least a little bit of time, or somebody in the right situation getting hot can really carry you past them. So
we said that with the men several years ago. A lot of talent, but they need some time to gel and get to know each other and whatnot. You could drop names like Jackie Young and Breonna Stewart and Kelsey Plum, but they still need time to kind of get together and work. I mean, individually, man, they're incredible.
Yeah,
I've been talking about Kelsey Plum probably more than I'm talking about Caitlin Clark recently. Kelsey Plum's game has been elevated to another level. She is phenomenal, man. I mean, she's finding her shot, and she's driving the lane. She's dishing. I mean, she's doing everything you want her to do, and in big moments, didn't shy away from it. She's scoring, man. If the Aces do go back, and hopefully we can talk about that real quick too. If the Aces do repeat for a third championship, Kelsey Plum is going to be a big reason why. Everybody says Asia Wilson, which is rightfully so, MVP, I'm sure. But Kelsey Plum, you got to give her props, man. She is looking phenomenal right now. So the USA team has definitely a baller on their team in Kelsey Plum. But do you think that the Aces are going to be in a strong position to repeat?
Yeah,
for a third time,
based
on what you've been seeing.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been hearing about the Lynx and the Storm, but Storm got some bigs that I think theoretically should do something over time. But this year, even the way the Aces kind of fell off a little bit, they're making a strong second half surge, and it's looking really good. I like them too. I guess you guys feel the same way about it too.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a rematch again, them versus the Liberty again, like we did last year. They had the injury, and I always read the point guard for the Aces. That's kind of how it started the year. Plus, they've won back-to-back. You know, a lot of that kind of thing wears on you after time, and you're getting everybody is coming after you. You know, you're getting everybody's best shot at this point, trying to stop the three-peat. But I think when it comes down to in the playoffs, I just don't see another team that I think consistently can hang with them outside of the Liberty, like in a series.
Yep.
So
I don't know anybody.
Right now, I would still pick them to meet.
Yeah. Yep. The Sun got some ballers too, but I don't know. We talked about the other shows too. So I feel like this is the Aces championship to lose.
Yeah. Now
Yeah.
Now the Sun did make a trade to bolster their shooting. You know, getting Mabry from Chicago, but their record against the top two, you know, against the Liberty and against the Aces, even with down at the Aces, I think they've only beaten one of them one time, and they've lost all the games to the Liberty. So I just don't think they're in that next level. I think they're a team that can kind of run through the regular season and beat the teams they're supposed to be, but I just don't put them in their category yet. And I didn't see enough in Mabry from Chicago to say, like, I think that was a good pickup for the Sun, but I don't know that she'll be like the person to put them over the top.
Well, that's kind of how I feel where the Storm are, right? They're a team that's going to beat the teams they're supposed to beat,
right? And
they're gonna split with the best teams, and that may not be enough to do something in the playoffs. Like they might surprise someone, but they're probably not going to the championship, right? Like they'll get in there, they'll make some noise, but that'll kind of be it. And one thing I wanted to say about the All-Stars versus the Olympic team was, I think it shows more of the depth of the league than anything else.
I agree with that.
And
I agree with Mike's point. Yeah.
That makes a lot of
sense. Because that's probably the best team they're going to play. I mean, let's be honest.
No question. Yeah. So.
I wouldn't know, but if that is, well, okay, then, you know, it's reason for optimism.
Yeah.
I haven't been up to speed on the other women's basketball teams in the Olympics. I tell you what, though.
Now the men's, on the other hand.
We can talk about it, but I'm not up to speed on that yet. I haven't caught up, but if you guys are talking about South Sudan, I'm totally down with that. That's totally up to you. I'll sit here and listen to
them.
My one shot at Raj has been trying to talk up South Sudan all weekend. That's all I'm going to say.
Hey, they gave him a run for it somewhere that I didn't even realize had a basketball team.
Thank you.
man.
Because LeBron hit the game winner, I've had to hear about it all weekend.
Sure.
Including Raj texts my mom, who's sitting at the dining room table. We're in the living room, and he texts my mom. And so mom all of a sudden goes, "Hey, Herb, did you hear that LeBron hit the game winner in the game today?" And I said, "Wow." But then I said, "Mom, did you know it was against South Sudan?" She goes, "Where? Their team?"
Exactly.
And then Raj turns around like, "Mom," I said,
"Hey, all of a sudden a game winner isn't exciting because they should have beat them by 40.
Thank you. Yes. And down
how much did they beat them by? You don't mind me asking, how much did they beat them by? They beat them by 1 point?
Yeah.
LeBron hits the layup, and then I think South Sudan had 2 shots at a game winner at the end.
Oh, so. They almost lost to South Sudan. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And the line on it, if I remember right, was 43.5.
Big Mike will appreciate this next comment. This is a purely wrestling comment. He'll appreciate it. You know how there's a certain wrestler that's being built up for a title match, but you don't think he's that great, but he's being built up for it because you got to make it work because he's in the match. You need him there, and you got to make it work for sales and buys and money at the gate. That's South Sudan. That's what it is. He's being built up like a big thing when it probably isn't. Like both said,
I don't think that
about 40.
They're jobbers. South Sudan was supposed to be a jobber, and they
the Brooklyn Brawlers of the Olympics.
Yes, and they didn't play the role correctly.
Wow.
Let me just say he spent the whole weekend looking up anybody who's ever played for South Sudan, and he's trying to trump that.
Who did he find? Did you find anybody?
Who was it? Right, Wayne Gabriel or something like that. Yes, they had a guy named Thor on their team. I mean, that's
Ooh, he sounded big.
Yeah,
I mean, hard to beat a god, right? So
you're right. So there you go.
Good luck with that. Kelsey is playing phenomenal. Yeah, that Waller thing was a bad thing. I give you props, dog. When we were on the the pre-NFL season show last year. I thought Wall would do a lot more for the Giants than he did. He ain't helped Kelsey out neither, so I'm glad we both unloaded that jerker. But yeah. Speaking of the men's, Braun with the game win against a stacked South Sudan team. When you say stacked, what are we talking about again?
Means there's people on it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they had to have players. Okay, well, good.
Yeah.
Yes. I was concerned about whether the Braun would play 5-on-1. I wasn't sure. No, No, you meant to say Raj, not me, right? I Herb be like that South Sudan was even a team. I didn't even know until 3 years ago that South Sudan was even a team. Herb enlightened me on that. I ain't making Daniel Bryan. See, this is a personal shot at me that Big Mike's having fun. Big Mike and Nick are having fun with me, but you know what? I ain't gonna let you do this.
Because me and Bo are like, who? I know Daniel Bryan. I don't know James Ellsworth, so
he's not anybody to know. That's the whole point. That's exactly why he was. Yeah, it's embarrassing. If you look it up, you see just from the first picture what I'm talking about. It's not going to be impressive. All right, so how many weeks ago was it? NBA had the first 6-team trade, which is like it's the first time I ever heard of that in all my years watching the NBA. It happened before, I don't recall it. But I guess it at least a few weeks ago, almost a month, Dallas had their first 6-team trade, had Dallas, Minnesota, Golden State, Denver, Charlotte, and Philly all involved in one trade, which is like, wow, you guys sat down and worked that thing out. It's like all 6 of y'all decided to work it together. And did you get what you wanted? Did it work out for you? I mean, I can't imagine how it would. I mean, I don't know. But anyway, the biggest aspect of that trade was that Klay Thompson, formerly of the previous world champion Golden State Warriors, is joining Dallas now. So I guess Dallas now, they have their big three now. I thought we wouldn't do that no more. I thought it was a problem now for us to have a big three in the super team. Now we're trying to do it again. So here we are. So Klay, Luka, and Kyrie on the same team. My initial thoughts is like, okay, how did this actually help elevate them from where they were before Klay got there? I want to ask you guys there. It's just a quick topic. We've got to spend a lot of time on it if you don't want to. Does this equate to a title? Are we talking about a conference final visit? Are we talking about a second round playoff? What are we talking about here? What does Klay bring to the table for this Dallas team?
I mean, he's going to have to have a bounce back year to bring anything to the table.
Correct.
But I just don't trust a team with Kyrie because you really don't know if he's going to show up. So I don't really think that this elevates them in a way that wins them a title. They might get, probably about the same distance into the playoffs, but it'll get people in the stands. People will be excited about it because of the names on the team.
The same distance in the playoffs though is finals. So are you saying that getting back to the finals?
They could. I'm just saying it doesn't make them better. Right. Like I think they can kind of achieve the same thing because his shooting isn't what it used to be. Right. So I don't know that he adds enough to get him over the hump. Right. Like I could see them in a conference championship or the finals, but I don't see them actually winning.
I know Roger's in love with the Lakers, so he probably has some thoughts about the Lakers season.
And he would have loved Klay, by the way.
The projection for them. But
yep.
Because this is my personal feeling. I didn't feel like, and I know Dallas was in the finals. We actually saw them with our own eyes, but I didn't feel as though they were the best of the West. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
It didn't feel that.
I think that was matchups. I think that was definitely matchups.
Because if Denver was healthy, don't think it would have happened. Minnesota could have did a couple of tweaks, and it probably would have been a different scenario. To
be fair, Denver was healthy against Minnesota. That was just a bad matchup for them. And remember, they're up double digits in Game 7 at home, and they blow a lead to Minnesota. But they had guys in a match for the entire playoffs, right? They weren't fully healthy the whole playoffs, right? Yeah, but nobody's like fully healthy. But their starters were all out there, and they had a double-digit lead at home in Game 7 against Minnesota. Like I can't let Denver off the last. I get where you're going with it, but I can't let them off the hook.
No.
You're in Game 7, you're at home. you got to close that one out, and then I think they can take the Mavs. But to the specific question, I think it's like one of those. I guess I agree with it makes him better, but like marginally, he's going to be asked to do less somehow with Dallas because they have two very dominant ball guys, with Kyrie and Luka. So there's not probably going to be as much running around. It's almost going to be, hey, just go stand in that place and, make some spot up three. So if he can gain any of that for him, they'll be better. But like to Bo's point, I don't know that puts them over the top, but it's not a bad move either. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. I didn't think they were. I mean, all I was hearing about was their health. I mean, so I don't know if it was.
No, what's the name was a little banged up, but everybody, gets to this point is a little banged up. Mm-hmm. So
maybe it was depth that they were talking about. I don't know. But Rod says the Mavs were missing a legit 3-point shooter against Boston. They should fit in. He's not sure how much he had left in the tank. I mean,
right. And that's the biggest problem.
Golden State with him on the team was missing a 3-point shooter. He went 0 for 10.
That's why I'm like, is that what you get? Is that what the Mavs get with him? Because that's not. You probably could have got that somewhere else for maybe less money. Somebody who's more efficient at this stage of their career.
Maybe so, but like I said, I think he's just going to do less there. I think Golden State is way more motion and run around in screens, and I honestly think his spot is going to be go stand over there.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he'll be a catch and shoot kind of guy.
Yeah.
They're going to have to do some more than just that. Then.
Yeah. Like Klay from 3 years ago, this is a great trade. 3-4 years ago, this is amazing. It's an amazing deal.
From 3 years ago, he doesn't get traded.
Right. True that. True.
Golden State,
because he would be that. He would be that wing defender.
Yeah, exactly.
So can't afford to keep everybody. They had to do something. So Shea said they still need a wing defender. Also adds. All right. Something going on here with StreamYard. I think Klay adds something Luka and even Kyrie to a degree, something they never had, a knockdown shooter. I think Klay will shake back this year. I see what you did there. And be 60% of 100% of what he was. 60% of 100%. So when he was in Golden State, I think to Bo's point, he probably was about 60% when he was in Golden State.
I mean,
so 60% of 60% is how much? 60% is like about 36%. That's what he's bringing to Dallas, according to your map, sir. So Klay's going to be a 36% shooter. Is that good? I don't know. Yeah. All right. I'm just doing my own map. I don't know. That's good. Oh, but anyways, let's keep moving. All right. So I was going to talk a little bit about the salary caps because I'm just like, wow. Some of these guys are in super trouble with some of the math that's going on out there. But I wanted to ask you specifically about the New Orleans Saints. But they're not even the worst of the situation. Their cap is not even the worst. I mean, you got the Falcons at 3.4, the Jets at 5.7, which I think is very, very interesting. The Ravens at 5.9. They kind of locked in a little bit. They can make a run if they want to, I guess. Carolina's at $6 million. I'm like, you cut all that cap. You're picking high, so you got a team full of rookies, so you're not paying them anything more than the rookie minimum, and you still got something in the math is not mathing. Why are you still here? Why are you still in the same
badly
place?
Run?
Something's not right.
I mean, they had cap trouble. They had no picks, but they've also had 6 coaches in the last 3 years.
Yeah. We're fixing the wrong things.
I mean, I don't care how good your team is. You're not going to win doing that. Like they could have a fantastic team, but if you're every 8 games firing a guy, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. And the talent is not warranting a better performance out of the coach either. So it's like you're really fixing the wrong things.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be terrible this year.
Yeah.
I mean, so if Tepper remains, being Tepper, this dude may get fired too.
Yeah.
And this is just a lead into my next question for you guys. But after Carolina at $6 million, they got Denver at 7.6. I get why all the money with Russ and everything. I get why that's happening. That makes sense to me. The Rams, I kind of understand that one too. What they've done over the past few years. They've been talking about rebuilding potentially for a couple of years now. So that's not new. They're about at 8.3. In Seattle, 8.4. Not sure if you have a thought on that, bro, or not. But Tampa Bay, 8.5. After that, you got Buffalo, and they're in the $10 million realm. The Giants after them. Miami right after them, which is like interesting. We talk about Tua getting a new deal, and then Tyreek getting an extension. Then you got the Saints after that, which I thought would be a lot lower than that. So they did something with their money. And then after that, you got Dallas and Chicago, around $11 or $12 million available after all that stuff. I brought all that up to say about the Dallas situation. We can talk about Seattle if you want to, and if Raj wants to chime in on the Miami situation and the money they're in, please jump in the comments, drop something on us. But we came about Dak getting the bag. I saw a number about $60 million. Now I'm seeing 55. Something must have changed there. But it looks like he's waiting for Tua and Jordan Love to get their deals first, which is not, I'm not mad at them for doing it. That makes sense. Wait until they get those deals, and then you go ahead and swoop in the back and get the whatever the highest paid deal is. I see a few reports, I guess we call it multiple reports, that they're prioritizing CeeDee Lamb's contract first, more than Dak's, and then Mike. They don't want CeeDee Lamb on the street, which makes sense. Look at his numbers. You don't want that caliber wide receiver on the street and open up to bidders. You don't want that to happen. So I get that part. After that, you got Micah. So they have to have a pass rush. That's very important to where they are right now. But he is last on this list of 3, so it's pretty interesting. But I want to ask you guys, what you think is probable? What you think is doubtful? Lamb hitting free agency, Dak hitting free agency, and Micah hitting free agency. Probable, doubtful, for all 3. What do you think?
I would say Lamb doesn't. Okay. I guess my order would be like they would prioritize Lamb, Parsons, and Dak as like a distant third. Mm-hmm. If I was going to rank like who I thought was more important to them. So I definitely see Dak playing for another team next year.
Why'd you say that? Why'd you say that in that order?
Well, and I feel like at the wide receiver position, you're really going to be devoid of talent. You let Lamb go. They've been searching for a number 2 wide receiver forever, so you can't really get rid of the number 1. Parsons would be my next just because of his defensive impact. And if I had to pay 2, those would be the 2. And I think if you're talking about blowing this up or chipping around the edges, if I at least keep a star wide receiver, I could maybe work something out quarterback wise. But paying Dak $60 million and not getting like prime quarterback play, like that just seems, more than what like the other 2 combined. I don't know. The wide receiver numbers I know keep going up, so that's probably overstate. But I just feel like you can't give Dak 55 to 60 and not win playoff games. And he's going to be the face of that. Whether you say it's all on him or not on him, he's going to be the face of that. You know what I mean? So I can't give you 60 million to not win. So
copy that. How about you, Bo?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty much there too. Like you need a receiver. Plus that'll help you land a quarterback if you're going to try and grab a different free agent potentially, or it gives you a legit number 1 for a rookie to throw to. So having your receiver locked up, or at least one of them, right, it at least gives you some options. Dak will be the least sought after guy. And some of that is we've just seen this pattern from the Cowboys and Dak before, right? They didn't try and sign him the first time. Yeah. And they drugged their feet, gave him more than they wanted to. And they're doing the exact same thing again. And whether he's on this roster or not next year, he hits their cap for $60 million. Yeah. So it's not like you're going to be able to sign everybody anyway. They won't have the cap space for it. But I could see them locking up Lamb, franchise tagging Parsons, and then letting Dak walk. Because then next year they can kind of figure out what it is they want to do with Parsons, because after next year, Dak's contract, cap hit disappears. So all of a sudden they got $60 million back into their pocket. And there's going to be some really good free agent quarterbacks out there. I mean, Wilson's going to be available. Fields will be available. Realistically, Cousins will be available. So, I mean, those are 3 guys that are, they're good, like kind of mid-level quarterbacks, right? Like they're not elite, but neither is Dak. So now Dak had a great year last year, but that doesn't make me want to give him $60 million, but someone will.
Right. I have to have some playoff games for $60 million. I just have to.
Yeah. Unless you're looking at a team like Miami, where they clearly aren't in love with Tua.
Right.
So if that's the case, they may go after a guy like Dak who does well in the regular season. They got 3 guys that are, I mean, they have 3 number ones out there. So I mean,
astounding to me.
So I mean, they could absolutely make that work. Not long term because they won't be able to afford it, but they could get a couple years out of that setup.
Yeah, I could absolutely see that one happening. I was thinking that when we were, if we were going to get into the Tua thing, I could absolutely see Dak going to Miami and thriving with all the offensive capital. I mean, there's a team that cuts defensive players and gets more offensive players.
Exactly.
And, their running backs can kind of double as wide receivers at times. And, they put so much into it that Dak could be like an MVP type year with all the offensive talent that they will have there. But, like I said, would you pay $60 million for that in a first round exit? I mean, that's on you guys, but I could absolutely see him having a great year in Miami.
So I got 2 questions for you guys then, based on what you're telling me right now. So from what I'm reading in multiple places, there probably already is Lamb first, which is obviously that fear is a legitimate fear. I get why you would do that. After that, they have Dak at probably a $55 million clip.
There's no way he definitely gets more than that.
After Tua and Love get their deal, which that number is going to increase no matter what you say. It's going to increase based on what Tua and Love do, whatever it is. And after that, Micah. So, what's your opinion of the Cowboys if they walk through that? If they do it that way, based on what you already said about where you thought Micah would be at, they got him last in this situation. So, how do you feel about that? And should Miami go ahead and give Tua the big bag? It seems like it's in work. It's in the works. They're talking about it. They're working through it. Is that something you would like if you were in charge of this ship? Would you be looking elsewhere based on what you saw, or do you think Tua is your long-term answer in Miami? 2 questions, but go ahead and take your time and jump into those, and then we'll keep moving forward here.
To the Tua one, I'll say this with what kind of just piggybacking off my Dallas answer. I can't blame them for just looking around and feeling out that situation and kind of see like what's coming up next, because like I said, they have a favorable situation to where you don't have to have an elite quarterback to do well there. If you have a good quarterback, I think he would do very well in Miami with everything they have around him. Waddle, I guarantee you could argue in some cases Waddle could be a number 1 wide receiver if Tyreek Hill wasn't there. Is it true or not? We haven't seen enough, but I feel like that's an argument you can at least make. So to have those kind of guys there, I mean, that's tough. Dak has better production than Tua. I think you have to say that. Been more consistent. Nobody's arguing that Dak in the regular season hasn't been phenomenal, right? I mean, we're talking at least
number
top 5 quarterback the last couple of years. Yeah. So
he's number 5 solid, hands down.
Yeah, easily. So yeah, and I agree with Raj too. I do think everybody would get. He doesn't seem to favor any one person. It's like I almost have to have a conversation and say, "Can you just throw Lamb the ball?" And then it's like forced. Otherwise, it's just like, I'm gonna just throw whoever. So,
well, that's
this comment is powerful. This is a diehard Miami fan. He says, "Sigh, Tua doesn't deserve the big bag yet. Needs 1 or 2 more healthy seasons and playoff wins. Not sure how long they can maintain these offensive pieces, so we need to produce ASAP." How long is does he have 2 more years left on his contract? So where's he get 2 healthy seasons from? So he'll be outside of Miami.
he's saying like if you were wanting to give him a bag, that's what he would want to see. They're in an unfortunate position as well. They got to make a decision now. But he's saying like if they were going to, the ideal situation would be, can I see what you got for a couple more seasons first? And I agree with that.
So that hurts him if I were Miami, I would be looking at either Dak if you were going to pay somebody, because I mean the problem with Tua is he largely hasn't stayed healthy, and that's true even through his college career. Right. So he's had 1 good season. But it's hard for me to want to pay that guy. When it comes to,
I don't think he had 1 full healthy season
in college.
Alabama.
Yeah, I think he did.
Not that I can remember.
I thought he had 1, but even still.
Well, so the one that he had where he threw that the game-winning pass, he was the backup. So,
but he was healthy.
Yeah. when he came in a mop-up duty, he was healthy. So to Bo's point, that was his one.
You know that's not what he's talking about. He's talking about a full season.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, no, exactly. And that was it. His backup year, he was healthy the entire year. The 2 years that he started was not.
And that's why I have a hard time paying him.
Right. No, I agree.
But at the same time, you have Trevor Lawrence, who hasn't done anything. That he just got 55.
Don't let Travis say that.
I know Travis.
Well, but by and large, he really hasn't done anything, right?
I agree.
We have the floor set.
You gotta find out what you can say when he was on the show.
I've said it to him. I've said it to Travis.
Not on that Monday thing you didn't, Jack. Go ahead, baby.
No, but I had him on. I had him on a couple days later.
Oh, but that man probably would lose his mind when he.
No. It was good.
You're right though, but he. I don't think
I'm not going to say anything. I mentioned Calvin Ridley, and he almost had a come apart. So I'm not saying anything about Jacksonville.
When you have the floor set at $40 million, right? Yeah. Like that's if you're a starting quarterback, that's what you get. And if you're mid at this point, like if you're that middle tier guy, you're getting 55. So a guy like Dak is getting 60 for sure because he is a top 5 talent. Stats would support that. So he's going to get that kind of money. So if you're Miami, do you break off a chunk of money and go get Dak, or because you got a lot of speedsters that you can stretch the field with, do you go get Russell Wilson for almost free next year? Because that dude likes to throw the long ball. He hates tight ends. Like, he doesn't want to throw anything short. You know what's great about having a team full of 4-2 guys? You don't have to go short. So, I mean, that's actually something that could be good for Miami. He's been durable through his career. He can supplement a little bit of a running game that isn't there. They have a good line, although the defense is suspect, so you have to outrun everybody. But, I mean, that's one of those, you got 3 race cars, right? So he throws a really good.
And to be fair, they have put capital in the running back position, but they're just all like really speed. They're not like the let me go get you a yard kind of guys, but they're like the if I break a tackle, I can give you 20 every time kind of guys. But there's speed all over the field at Miami. I could just see them kicking the tires and just look around and saying, can we get a cheap guy and still get the production we need, or get Dak?
And that's where I think Wilson could be an option. Because then you get him for cheap. Maybe you actually fix some of that defense.
Maybe they can trade quarterbacks. Maybe Dallas and Miami can make a trade.
Dallas
Jerry Jones would eat Tua alive.
Maybe
Jerry Jones would eat Tua alive.
I think your Giants would go after Tua.
Why?
What do you have on the roster?
No, you won't be. That doesn't mean it's open season. Bring anybody in from anywhere. That's not how you build a good football team. So I don't know why we would do that. You got somebody who already has some semblance of health issues. Why would we do that? We need somebody to be healthy. It's not all O-line is the reason why they're not healthy. So it's like no. I mean,
that team needs a lot of stuff, but
yeah, we do need a lot of stuff. Most definitely, but I don't see that. That probably ain't coming to us either. I mean, Jerry Jones won't allow him to come to New York either. But
I'm not saying they should do it. I could see them doing it though.
But Dak in Miami, that's like that might not be bad for him.
I don't think it's terrible for Miami. I think that's probably. I think they would have some be really good.
He may actually have some postseason success in Miami. That might happen. Away from the expectations of the star, and with some different talent. Some fresh air, a different perspective. It could work wonders, man. That could be a thing, man. Raj might be licking his chops over here like, well, we get Dak.
Yeah, I just don't think it would be bad. Maybe playoffs, maybe like you said, that's a unknown, but I see top 5 quarterback Dak in Miami. So
that's interesting.
I could see it.
All right. Well, I want to get into our 5-pack, but there was a comment that I missed, and I want to go ahead and drop it. Shakeback says, done things, Herb. He's good for something other than consistently and annoyingly telling the tide to roll. Yes. Now, I'm pulling my sleeves up for this one. So this is Herb.
This is because I sent him the message about where since he didn't have to search, I sent him the link to go subscribe to Mike's podcast.
Okay. What I got to do with fill in the blanks, man? I don't understand
he's
this
just taking shots.
He just said
I know he's taking shots.
Because
what does it mean?
Do you know the last time this man talked to me? April 20th.
Of 2024?
Yes. And I know that because it was for Roger's birthday. So
all righty then.
Yeah. So
would you like to go ahead and give him a roll tide for the road? Would you give him a roll tide?
Roll tide, baby.
All right. Miami has a good running game. Okay. What's the connector here? I'm missing something.
No, because both said they don't have a good running back game. And
no, that's not what I said. I said Russell Wilson would supplement their running back because he can move. That's not to say your running back is bad. He did the same thing when we had Marshawn Lynch here. I'm not saying Marshawn Lynch is a bad back, but what I'm saying is you have to respect the fact that Wilson can run.
You missed up your invite to Dallas, but you better watch out, man. You might not get that invite to the barbecue, man. You're on thin ice with Raj right about now. You're on thin ice, man.
It's the best kind of ice.
I don't want you to miss out on the barbecue chicken. You're messing around. Okay?
It's my favorite kind of ice. Is thin ice.
I don't want that food. Right. So our 5-pack polls have been so much fun. We're gonna knock those all out for the rest of July, and we're starting a new game in August, which I'm super excited about. It's gonna be challenging to say the least. But a 5-pack poll. This is how we've been doing. If you guys have been following us and paying attention, 5 teams, 5 different categories. Our teams are Carolina, Detroit, Philadelphia, Vegas, and Jacksonville. The aforementioned Jacksonville. Where you gonna put them at, Herb? Carolina, Detroit, Philly, Las Vegas, and Jacksonville. Categories are 1, wins the division. 2 is dead last in the division. 3 plays in Super Bowl in the next 3 years. 4 in a full rebuild mode within 5 years. And the 5th one is the first round playoff exit. Wins the division, dead last in the division, plays in Super Bowl within the next 3 years, in full rebuild within 5 years, first round playoff exit. All right, who wants to start it first? This is probably the easier of the one that we've had over several weeks. They've been butt kickers, but this one should be simpler, I think.
Yeah, I'll bang mine out, I guess. So I'll go with rebuild as Carolina, because that team is just hot trash. So they should blow that thing up.
There's no hope for them at all.
The problem is there's nothing to blow up. It's already blown up, so you're just like,
right?
Just keep doing
it. Are they in a rebuild right now and not telling us, or
I don't think they know.
They're not embracing this. This is a full rebuild. They're not embracing.
No idea what they're doing.
They don't know.
Yeah, I mean, basically they brought a gas truck to a fire thinking it was water in it. Yeah. Like it is.
And then they're getting mad at the people who are throwing it on there. Like
exactly. They're telling their coaches it's water. They spray it and it gets bigger, and they're like, "What are you doing?"
Yes.
So it's Carolina full on rebuild.
Connected to that is fine.
Vegas will be last. I have a first round playoff exit for the Jags. Detroit wins their division, and Philly probably actually gets a Super Bowl appearance this year.
Ooh. Preview of this NFL Super Show.
All right, well, I'll get mine right quick. Mine is pretty similar. I had the Jags with a first round playoff exit. Sorry, Trav. It is what it is. I had Carolina with a full rebuild. I think they're in it right now. They're not fully embracing it, though.
Yeah.
You give Brian Burns away like you did for the most part and do some other moves you made. You're in rebuild. You just don't want to say it. Like the fans are going to be offended. I got plenty of Carolina fans that I know. They know what it is. Their feelings aren't going to be hurt by you saying the word rebuild. Just say what it is. Stop being deceptive. You say, you know what? We're rebuilding this team because we need to, or we're going to lose all this good Bryce Young years that we can get from this. So common sense, but they don't have common sense. Common sense is not common. Dead last, I got Vegas as well. Last year, bottom of the league in total yards per game, which really says a lot. Questionable leadership decisions going on. The quarterback room is pretty much pieced together. What they have right now with O'Connell and Minshew, I ain't feeling that. Denver could easily surpass them by at least a game or two. I really believe that can happen. even with all the things that we think are bad about the Denver Broncos right now, they can surpass them at least by a game or two, and they're rated to be in the cellar. So that's enough of that. I had Philly win their division. I don't know. I don't see them going back to the Super Bowl right now. I don't know. Something about what I'm seeing doesn't really excite me. I don't know. I don't know if it's a combination of stuff at quarterback and some other things that I've been seeing. I don't know. I don't have a good feeling about it. And I have Detroit playing Super Bowl in the next 3 years. I don't know what else to hope for with Detroit, man. I mean, after all you've done with personnel, and I mean, what else can we hope for? It's kind of like Super Bowl or bust, right? I mean, like, what else? This is it, man. This is the shot of a lifetime. You haven't had anything close to this in a very long time. You've been a joke on Thanksgiving Day for how many years now? This is it, man. You got a legit team offensively and defensively. What else can we hope for Super Bowls? I got them in there. Basically, I'm hoping for it. I hope it does happen, because after 3 years, I'm like, what do you do now? If it doesn't work, what do you do? On the talent you got on the roster right now, what happens then when they want to come up for a contract and go somewhere else and you haven't won the big one? It could be a nightmare if you don't win within the next 3 years. So hopefully they will. Go ahead, Herb. You're next.
So I'll just start there. I went with Detroit Super Bowl also. Mine came down to Detroit or Philly, and I was like, obviously, I like Philly because I like some of the players, but I would probably be pulling more for Detroit just because of the story, and I would love to see it. And like I said, offensive talent is there. So Detroit Super Bowl, Philly winning their division. Jacksonville, I agreed on that, the first round exit. So if Trav's gonna be mad, he can just be mad at all three of us. So we can all split it there. So I went Carolina last in the division and Vegas in the rebuild. Because I always pick my rebuild team as the team that hasn't like solved their quarterback situation yet. I don't know if Carolina solved it, but they at least drafted one high, so I put them as last. And Vegas, I just feel like it's a Devontae Adams trade and a couple of trade pieces on defense trade away from like embracing a full rebuild. And everyone else in your division has at least either picked their quarterback. Like, do I think Denver has their guy? I don't know, but they at least drafted one. So it just feels like you're in a spot where it's like you could fall behind really, really quickly. You just need to trade off some pieces and embrace the full rebuild.
Vegas is that team that like doesn't embrace the rebuild though. They're just like, hey, I got these Band-Aids for this bullet wound.
Right. And that's the problem. People need to realize that if you embrace the full rebuild, it can work. But you have to like get the whole thing into it. You can't half do it. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Mom, I'm actually gonna tag him after the show over in my post-production. I'll be tagging him in the show so he will know within the next 2 hours why he should be mad or not mad. We'll see. But I'll let you know. I'll update you later.
I mean, he shouldn't be that mad. We're saying his team will make the playoffs.
Right.
If you watch look at any of the posts that he has out there on X, it's like,
oh no, he'll be mad for
passive aggressive like, for everything that they talk about. I don't care if it's quarterback, the contract. I don't care if it's the defensive line. I don't care what it is. He mad about something. Can't even talk about his.
He's definitely coming after you two. Travis, I was forced into my answers because those two had already said, and then they sent me a private chat saying I better agree or they'd kick me off the show. So Travis wasn't. I'm used to the GSW, so it ain't gonna bother me none. I'm like, whatever. I'm used to it. I take my hits. I'm the only person that doesn't take. Matter of fact, you two guys and your team, you guys don't take no real hits on this show. You guys are easy. Your team don't take no hits like mine. So my team takes the hits like.
I'm talking about Bama now. I'm talking about NFL. I ain't talking about Bama.
Well, you just said my team. I'm wearing Alabama. So what are we talking about?
I can get my Michigan jersey right now. We can go ahead and go toe to toe because Michigan takes it like anybody else does too.
No, 1 year y'all took it. 1 year y'all took it. Y'all don't take it in a lifetime like Alabama. Y'all ain't been good long enough for everybody to care.
Really?
Yeah.
The winningest franchise in college football history. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, but you talking about way back when? Gotcha. Okay.
All righty. Travis, I'm just a commenter. Have a good day, kind sir. Oh wow. Let the kissing up begin. Wow. Y'all a bunch of sellouts, man.
They forced me into those answers, Travis.
They're gonna leave me out here on the street hanging. Oh wow.
Yes.
Good stuff. Good to know who got my back. Great show as usual. Appreciate you guys so much, man. This was fun. Wherever you guys are and have you listen to our show, thank you again. Making us a part of your morning, your day, and your week with your weekly mirror check before you change the world, which you can find Bo and Herb and Raj on all social media, especially on their YouTube channels at Football Talk with Bo and Raj_Herb. Good work out of them, man. The season's getting ready to come up for football. We're excited about that.
Yes, sir.
At our Core Wheel Football show, so you know we're going into live football mode probably in sometime in August. Pre-season.
Yep.
We'll be hitting it hard and breaking some stuff down, maybe even more than we ever have before. So I'm excited about, really digging deep on some college NFL. So we're excited about that. But thanks again for joining us. I know you have enjoyed this. You had to have. I know we did, but have a great day, guys. Enjoy it. Yeah.